Well, let's get some more on this. Bruno Macaes joins us from Ankara. He's the former Minister for Europe in the Portuguese government and the author of the book, The Dawn of Eurasia. Good to have you with us. So, first of all, what do you make of this calls for the Turkish boycott of US goods and the Turkish accusation that the US is using the dollar as a weapon?
I was actually at the conference where President Erdogan made that announcement. It's not entirely clear to me and to other people that were there whether this is an official policy or just an appeal to Turkish citizens not to buy American electronics. I think we have to wait to clarify that. But in any event, either way, it is another move in this particular trade war between Turkey and the United States, which just joins a number of other trade wars developing at the moment.
Yeah, and judging by Mr. Erdogan's speech today, you were there, he's in a defiant mood, so it doesn't look as though Turkey's going to back down anytime soon.
Yes, there's a bit of an arm wrestling right now. Financial markets are asking, or even demanding, if you prefer, that the Turkish government increases interest rates. And it was clear today from President Erdogan's remarks and also from the finance minister remarks later on that he's not planning to do that.
Yeah, Mr. Erdogan's very reluctant to raise interest rates, but we know that Turkey's economy is being affected. What impact is this having on global markets and in particular on Europe?
That's correct. This is not only about Turkey. In my opinion, this is still the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. Central banks were very generous with their monetary policies. There's a lot of liquidity being moved around the globe. Turkey was a bit more vulnerable because it had a particularly generous monetary policy for a number of years, but we're already seeing signs from other emerging markets, from South Africa, also Russia, which is very vulnerable to these movements. And then in Europe, we also have countries, and in particular banks, that are very vulnerable to what happens in Turkey, in particular Spain, Italy, and of course Greece, which is just out of their own protected financial crisis.
And we see that, you know, this dispute between Turkey and the US shows no signs of abating. The Congress has just signed a bill blocking Turkish access to the F-35 stealth jets. Where do you see this ending? How does this play out?
I see this going on for an indeterminate time. These new trade wars are going to continue. In some cases, are going to intensify. What should countries do? Well, they have to be a bit more self-reliant. It's not the economy of the 90s or even the economy from 5-10 years ago. Countries have to be self-reliant. They have to be resilient. They have to increase their resilience to these accidents. And also, I think we're going to see this game of alliances. It was very interesting that over the past week, the EU and Turkey, which had been at loggerheads, had started to make favorable noises and sympathetic noises towards each other. So we also see this happening, a game of alliances. But it's a completely different world from even 2 years ago.
Good to get your analysis there, Bruno. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Bruno Macaes there in Ankara.